So, monitoring our mental health as we navigate through this pandemic is essential to our overall well-being. You know, the COVID crisis coupled with social unrest really can trigger a whole wide range of emotions. So, here to help us identify and address them is clinical psychologist Dr. Jeffrey Gardere. Dr. Gardere, always a pleasure to see you. Welcome. Good morning.
Thank you, and good morning to you.
So as families are out there are trying to help their loved ones with mental health issues, I want to use an example as Kanye West because he's had some erratic behavior in recent days. What does that look like to you, and how can family and friends get him the help, and could this be a lesson to others?
Yeah, certainly his wife has talked about that he has been having struggles for a very long time with bipolar disorder, which is basically where you have very manic highs and very crashing or depressive lows. And there have been some issues with him being perhaps compliant with his treatment and medication. So I think the lesson for all of us here is to understand that when we are getting treatment, that we really need to stay with it and be compliant. And we have to have empathy for people who are having some of these mental health struggles, not laugh at them, not look down at them, because this can happen to any of us, and it does happen to many of us.
All right, and let's talk about Tamar Braxton and Nick Cannon. Those are some other examples of mental health issues. We saw Tamar had to actually go to an emergency room. Nick Cannon feeling like his community abandoned him. So how do you address that?
Well, I think certainly the fact that their information was out there, perhaps against their will, with regard to Tamar, but certainly Nick put his struggles out there. I think that's a very positive thing, especially if they're self-revealing, because they are role models. They're telling us it's okay to not be okay. Sometimes life can knock us down, but the important thing is to smash that stigma of admitting to mental illness in all communities, but especially in this case in the Black community. And it's important for us to seek help when we need it. And it's also important for us to give support to those who are having the mental health challenges. So kudos to
Absolutely.
them talking about it.
Yeah, the support system is so very key. And you saw that especially with Nick Cannon saying, wait a second, yeah, I made a mistake, but then people in my community just turned their backs on me. And we're all, this is a learning moment for all of us. I want to talk about how the pandemic has really brought out the best and the worst in people. We're seeing a lot of confrontations about social distancing and mask wearing. How do we try to level that off some? Because that can get really scary.
Yeah, I think it's really important for people to understand that they have a social responsibility, even if they're not afraid of this virus, that they have to be aware that they can pass it on to other people. I think there are some people with mental health challenges who've been acting out. We see that in some of the. We have to stop politicizing science. Wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands. These are proven scientific ways to keep this virus.
Yeah, your audio is going in and out, but I think the message was don't go up against science. We need to listen to science, wear your mask, socially distance yourself. I wanted to talk about the upcoming school year, but I think we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty. So, Dr. Jeffrey, can you hear me? Are you still good?
Yes.
Oh, hey, okay, let me try to get this one in because I know a lot of parents are really interested, especially with the uncertainty of the upcoming school year. It's creating anxiety. I know for me, should I send my kid to school? Should I not? What is the responsible thing here to do? Because on one hand, you hear that it is good for their mental health to be in school. It is good for them on a whole number of levels. But on the other, as a parent, you're saying, I don't want to expose you to anything.
Well, there's no clear answer here. This is a nail biter. The unions, a lot of people are saying, you know what, if we don't have the proper PPE in place, if we don't have the proper precautions for our students and especially for our teachers, because they're the ones who also can suffer along with with our kids possibly bringing this virus home to parents and to grandparents and so on, that we don't know what we're going to do. So we have to hope critical that the Department of Education and our federal leadership actually puts the proper precautions in place and makes the right decision as to whether our kids should be going back to school, especially when we see the virus is flaring up in different parts of the country.
Right, I know it's a lot of wait and see here, but thank you for giving us a little hope and dealing with all of these anxieties on several different levels. Doctor, it's always good to see you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Take care, stay safe.